This video is a guide to rearranging the kinetic equation using substitution and transposition. This is the preferred method in a physics classroom. It is also the method that will get you the marks in exam papers. So let's start by looking at the equation. We have EK equals a half mv squared. Now, like the triangle method and the making m and v the subject of the formula methods, you must remember this equation. So let's understand this better by looking at some examples. Substitution, transposition, answer. I call it plugging in the numbers. So we start with our equation. If the question has given us the kinetic store, which is 10 joules, and it's given us the velocity, which is 2 meters per second, we start with substitution. We replace the E with 10 and we replace the V with 2. This gives us that 10 equals a half m times 2 squared. I'll square the 2 first to give me a half times m times 4. Now we know that a half times 4 is the same as 2. And so we now have 10 equals 2m. Finally, transposition is where we get the m on its own. In this case, if 2m is 10, then we divide both sides by 2 to give us m, which is 5. That gives us our final mark, which is the answer. Next, calculating mass from the kinetic equation. So imagine you have a cheetah that's running at a speed of 30 meters per second. It has a kinetic store of 27,000 joules. Calculate the mass of the cheetah. So we're going to use substitution first. We write down our equation, and then we substitute in the numbers. We have 27,000 J, so that means EK is replaced with 27,000, and we have 30 meters per second. So we replace V with 30. This gives us 27,000 equals a half times m times 30 squared. We'll square the 30 first to give us a half times m times 900. A half times 900 is 450, so we now have 450m is 27,000. Well, if 450 of them gives us 27,000, we divide both sides by 450 to tell us what 1m is. And 1 mass, in this case, is 27,000 divided by 450, which is 60 kilograms. Calculating velocity from the kinetic equation. So a Formula 1 car has a kinetic store of 1020600, which is just over 1 million joules, and a mass of 700 kilograms. Calculate the velocity of the car. So again, we write down our equation first, and then we substitute in the numbers. So E is replaced with 1020600, and m is replaced with 700. Now a half times 700 is 350, so we now end up with 1020600 equals 350 v squared. Now we want the v squared on its own, so this is where transposition comes in. We're going to divide both sides by 350, remembering that if you divide any number by itself, it is equal to 1. So 350 divided by 350 is just 1. That means 350 v squared divided by 350 will be v squared. That gives us v squared is 2,916. Anyone who remembers their square numbers will know, therefore, that v, once we square root it, is 54 meters per second. Finally, a 160 gram cricket ball has a kinetic store of 18 joules. Calculate the velocity of the cricket ball. So we need to make a conversion first because we don't have kilograms, we have grams. So we know 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram, so therefore 160 grams is 0.16 kilograms. What we do next then is plug in the numbers. Substitution. We have EK equals a half mv squared, so we're going to replace the E with 18, and we're going to replace the m with 0.16. So this gives us 18 equals a half times 0.16 times v squared. A half times 0.16 is 0.08. So we now have that 18 equals 0.08 v squared. We're now going to do the transposition phase to get us the second mark. So we divide both sides by 0.08. This gives us that v squared is equal to 18 divided by 0.08. Again, if you remember your square numbers, you will realise that v is 15 meters per second.